Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of West Ham TV's post-match Pint, the only West Ham post-match for a show on the internet. We just come back first for London Stadium, where it was Liverpool 3, West Ham 1. Scott, take us through starting lineup.
Fabianski in goal, Kufal right back, Creswell left back, Bonner and Dawson in the centre, Rice and Souček as two midfield, holding. Bowen, Fornells, Benrahma as an attacking three, and Antonio leading the line up top on his own.
Yeah, it was it's the strongest team probably.
Yeah, it's the best team we could put out. It's I see a lot of people after the game. I know the result, we lost 3-1, but a lot of people on Twitter saying Moyes got it wrong with the starting lineup, and I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute, this is the best team we could have put out. If he would have started the game with maybe dropping Benrahma or Fornells and playing Noble in the middle, it'd have got criticised. So I don't agree with he got the selection wrong. I just think we was outclassed today, and it's a bit of a reality check for our players, the manager, and us fans, because we have got carried away a bit, and it's brought us a bit back down to earth. But look, Liverpool were outstanding today. The way they knocked the ball around, when the starting lineup come out for Liverpool, I thought to myself, we can get at them today. If there's any chance of beating them, it's going to be today. But Liverpool, they played the ball on the floor. They didn't let us. They knew in the air we'd beat them. And Liverpool just played that ball. They had that little diamond in midfield, and they knocked it around. Souček and Rice today were nowhere near their midfield. They couldn't get near them, couldn't get on the ball. Every time we got on the ball, Liverpool were sprinting after it, panicking, making us panic, playing long balls. Liverpool's line weren't sitting so deep. So Antonio was either getting caught offside or he just, it was a bad day at the office. I'm gutted. I don't like losing, but if you're going to lose a game, you can't moan at losing to the champions.
To be fair, I think... Go on, Scott. Go on.
I was going to say, I'm with you. I don't think Moyes got it wrong. Personally, I think Klopp got it bang on with their system today. I think he's done his own work on how we've been playing lately, and he picked his team to counteract anything that we did. And to be honest, I thought he got it right. They dominated our midfield from start to finish in that game. And like we said, the only thing Moyes could have possibly done different was started with the 5 at the back. But we have been playing so well with the 4 at the back, so why would he change it?
No, because Liverpool were there for the taking today.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he got the starting lineup wrong. I don't think he got the starting lineup wrong at all. He picked our best team. It was a team that he thought was going to go out there and get a result. What I do think he got wrong, however, was the way he approached the game. He approached the game very much like Mourinho tried to approach the game on, remind me, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
He approached the game in exactly the same way. And that's the way Mourinho does approach games against the big teams. He tries to, he's got that sort of quality up front where they can hit him on the break. And what they try, it was a very similar game, I think, to the Tottenham game. Apart from the fact we scored last knock-ins and they scored to make it 2-1. It was, that we tried to soak up their pressure. And I think that was the wrong way to do it because their weakness is at the back. I know Mane wasn't playing and I know Firmino wasn't playing, but they haven't been on massively top form anyway for them. I know they played well against Tottenham on Thursday, but it's, it is what it is with Moyes. I think he thought we could absorb it and then hit them on the break. We missed some big chances again. And this is what it comes down to. And I've been saying this, for the past 2 months, we keep on missing chances. We put ourselves in them positions, and it's going to cost us eventually. And I think against the top sides, it will cost us. But he just got the. It's one of them things. You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. Really, isn't it? Because if you attack them, you're going to open yourself up to them doing what they did. They're a very difficult team to play against Liverpool.
Thing is, our game plan today, mate, was to keep it 0-0 as long as we can, and then try to nick one from a corner or hit them on the break. And we do. First half, we got in at half time 0-0. I thought we'd done well, but I just think that diamond they had in midfield of Wanyama, Shaqiri, Thiago, and Milner. I mean, James Milner doesn't age. He run for forever for you, and that's what they was doing every time we was getting that ball. Benrahma, Bowen, Rice, Souček, Liverpool were first there. They were breaking up play and they was knocking it around us, and we was chasing shadows in that first half. And I know you're saying that Moyes' approach to the game. I think Liverpool made us change our game plan. I think they made us because we couldn't get near them, and we were sitting back. Liverpool, what you got to remember is their squad. They were European champions and they won the Premier League, last season. Whatever team they put out is going to be a great team. Every single player that comes into that team is a good player. Then that's the difference. And that shows you the levels. That's how far we are off these top four teams, like team-wise and squad-wise. They've just got so much quality to bring in.
What they do, mate, what they do without shadow of a doubt, and they do this better than any side, and I think maybe any side in world football, is they don't give you a second, you know? And our passing at times is ropey at times when we're playing even the smaller teams. It can be a little bit lackluster. It can be a little bit slow. But what they do is what they used called the Gungan pressing is when every part of the field, as the ball shifts, they know where they're going. And yeah, they've had a bad run of form recently. They picked it up against Tottenham, which was probably unfortunate for us, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I just find it a little bit shocking to see Gegan press. I think someone's saying in the comments, yeah. But yeah, I just find it a little bit shocking to see people sort of breaking down over this sort of performance against Liverpool. I think, Jesus, man, we've been punching well above our weight. Like, if we'd have got that fucking win today, we would have been in a very good position. But don't let that define our season. As I said before, no matter what happens now, as long as we don't slip too far, as long as we don't self-capitulate, it's going to be a good season. We're safe from the drop already, and we've got all of these what you call bonus games. David Moyes has done a marvelous job. We will pick up more points. The game that will show us where we are is the game against Aston Villa, because if we can go and give them a game at least and pick up a point, and then we've got Fulham and West Brom again, it just bring us down to earth. Give us a little, don't let us get sort of carried away with ourselves. We'll be fine. And I stand by and I said this on the Red Men TV. I know a lot of people didn't see it because it was on their website, but I'd give all this up for a cup run, So let's focus next Saturday. That's the big one. That one, and then one-off games, and then you get yourself into the quarterfinal of that cup. But listen,
that's not next Saturday. We've got Fulham away next Saturday.
Yeah, it's the
Man United's midweek. It's a Wednesday night.
Yeah, but you look at
in my eyes.
You look at the
every day's a Saturday.
Look at the season overall so far. When you take out that Newcastle game, right? We have not lost to anybody outside of what you would regard as the top 6 sides in the country. We've lost Arsenal, we've lost Chelsea, Liverpool lost, didn't beat Tottenham, didn't beat Man City, and lost to Man United. Now, we've beaten or picked up points, barring Newcastle, every other team in the league. That's some doing.
Yeah.
The thing today was a one-off. There's individual mistakes were made, and which led to the goals. What we did in that first, we hold out at 0-0. We get a corner and we play it short. What the hell we were thinking there, I don't know. If I'm honest,
that's what I'm saying. And if it was one thing we would have worked on, then definitely what Liverpool would have worked on playing us was corners. And as you said, it took us 35 minutes to get our first corner, and we play it short, and it's waste. Just whip it in there. That's what we've been doing all season. It's been working. It proved it in the second half when we got our goal. But I just think first half, we was waiting for them to sort of make a mistake. I mean, Benrahma got the ball a few times, and as soon as he got it, he sort of looked at that. It was looking over to go over the top too much today. You're looking for Antonio with his pace. I thought Phillips at the back for Liverpool had a great game. You know, he done well when he played us earlier in the season. He got man of the match in that game. I think their fullbacks, Alexander and Robinson, you know what you get from them. They're up and down all the time. You know, Henderson's just an experienced player. He could play, you know, I think, as Gary Neville pointed out in commentary, you might see him play in that position when he gets towards the end of his career. You know, it's just they're a tough team to break down. You know, we're not going to be the last team that they beat this season. You know, and have so much of the ball in a game. But look, we dust ourselves down and we go again, as we've said before when we've lost. It's how we bounce back, and we've got Villa away and Fulham. You know, they're 2 games that we can win. If we get 6 points next week and we get 2 wins, you know, or a draw and a win, 4 points, we're still up there. Now, as it stands now, we're still 5th in the league. That might change with the Tottenham result. I know Tottenham are losing at the moment, but you know, if we drop down to 6, who's really gonna complain? You know, where we thought we was going to be at the start of the season to where we are now.
That's it. That's exactly it. It's one of them, isn't it? It's we are where we are. We've had a good run. We've been beaten by the champions who are finding their groove back again. And said now we show our character in how we bounce back. And at the end of the day, I'll take getting beat today if we pick up 4 to 6 points in the next 2 games.
Yeah, look, I think you got it wrong. I think you got it wrong. But you know, I haven't heard any interviews. I'm busy all the way through and after. But you know, he's not scared to admit that he got it wrong at times. You know what I mean? But look at that second goal. I mean, Gary Neville was fucking masturbating himself stupid apparently over the first one, saying it could be one of the goals of the season. But that second one, that's a world-class goal. I mean,
it was the second one he was about.
No, it was the first one he was on about. It was the first one. He hadn't even scored the fucking second one when people were saying it. But he was wanking himself stupid over the first one. But what I'm saying is like that's the killer for me, because we were starting to get back on top in that game. We was finally starting to find our feet a little bit. We was finally started to have a little go at their goal. And that's what Liverpool do, man. That's 3 passes from a corner.
Yeah,
that's one out. That's one out to Shaqiri, one into Salah, and that's a goal.
I know you've sort of jumped to the second goal, but you think that big chance Antonio had to put us 1-0 up, and that's the difference between a striker and a world class striker. Because Antonio, you know, if he buries that and it's 1-0, it's a totally different game, you know, and then. Literally, what was it? 2-3 minutes later, Salah gets the ball, and what does he do? You don't show him on his left. Keep him on his right. Keep him on his right. What does Creswell do? Show him on his left. And we've seen you. If you looked at, I think he scored 120 goals for Liverpool, whatever, something like that. I bet 90 of them are similar to that. What we see today, and that's what he does, you know. And it's a great finish. It's a great finish from Salah.
And that's the thing. That's the most frustrating thing, is how well we've defended and how well Creswell was played this season to do that. You know, he's showing him in the outside. He lets him inside on his left. And as soon as he comes inside, it's a goal. You see it. The angle of the camera's that's perfect. You're roughly seeing it as Salah sees it. As soon as Creswell shows him inside, he just picks that corner out and the other side of Fabianski. And that's the downside to Creswell. He does this so many times. He lets players inside. And I don't understand why modern day fullbacks let players come inside. He's going to want to get it on his left. Show him on the right. If he gets to the right, bangs it in, scores from that tight angle, then you're looking at your goalkeeper. But as a defender, you've done your job.
The thing is with Creswell,
but Creswell was fault for the first goal. And I think he was at fault for the second goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, on the first goal with Creswell, you know, he can't get too close to him because he knows if he sticks a leg out, Salah's going to go down. He knows that. So, but just show him outside, show him to the right, make him go down to the line and try to cross it with his right foot. You know, give away a corner, whatever. But look, it's a great finish. And then the second goal, you know, 4 touches from our corner to it being in the back of our net was you know, what can you say? You just got to hold your hands up to it. So that touch and finish, instinct. That is world class. That is world class.
That was the touch of the finish from Salah was class. But for me, there was 2 phases in that move where we could have done something differently. Creswell wasn't aggressive enough attacking the ball for Salah to get there in the first place on the edge of their area. He's got to be going there. If Salah knocks it past him, drag him down to the floor. Take the booking, because at the end of the day, he ain't going to get up the other end. And I think, personally, Soufal should have gone for the ball when it went out to Shaqiri, because I think Soufal beat Shaqiri to the ball there, and you had Yarmolenko covering the middle. And as I said, Creswell fouls Salah on the edge. That movement's dead. There was times tonight we wasn't aggressive enough in the way we played. And that was one of the times that it led to a goal. You can't take it. That was a brilliant counter-attacking goal. Any team that scores, Salah's touch, the finish, it was perfect.
You know what? I took from that goal, Scott. I think you've been a little bit harsh, because I think, it's all right saying it in hindsight, but it's been a bit harsh. The pass from Shaqiri, first time, fucking hell.
The only thing that worried me,
I think it was.
The only thing that worried me a bit about that goal was Yarmolenko was the only one that busted his nut to get back. You know what I mean? We look quite slow getting back. I know Liverpool are quick, but we're 1-0 down. I know we're trying to score from a corner, but we had too many players pushed up too far, because surely they know that if Liverpool get that ball, they're on the attack. We should have had a couple more players back. But, as Nicky said, you can't take away the quality of the 4 passes, the 3 passes and the finish. Shaqiri's ball, I'm thinking to myself, he's overhit it, but he's just the way he's brought that down, Salah, and just dinked it past Fabianski. I'm a West Ham fan, but even I felt like standing up and clapping that one. And I hate seeing teams score against us, but sometimes you just got to appreciate the skill and the finish, and it was world class. And Salah on his day, and I said this on Friday Night Pint, I said that I know they didn't have their forward 3 out today that we're used to, but whoever they start, that's what you got to worry about, because they can kill you off within 10 minutes, Liverpool. And they've sort of done that today, and it is what it is. I'm not too disappointed, because that's our first defeat in 5 Premier League games. We won 5 Premier League games in a row, so I got no complaints. It's how we bounce back now against Villa on Wednesday night. That's the big point for me.
Exactly, and that's the thing in it. That's you show your character and you show what you're made of, and that will tell how far forward we've come under Moyes. You can take getting beat by sides like Liverpool, because they've got that, even on a night when they may not be playing well. And tonight I thought they did play well, but there's nights when they don't play as well. When you've got players with the talent that Salah's got, they just need a second, and they completely spin a game on its head. And that's what we saw tonight. Personally, we should have. I think we should have approached it a bit like we approached the City game when Benrahma was playing the long balls forward. He was overhitting them. We were trying to look for Antonio to catch the centre half and Anderson out with a long ball. When it happened, we overhit the long ball all the time, and that sort of thing. I think that was a bit of our game plan in the first half. Soak up the pressure, try and catch him on the counter, but the balls into Antonio or balls over the top for Antonio just weren't pinpoint enough. They were wasted, and that's the biggest downside in that first half.
I personally think we would have got more joy tonight if we were at route 1.
But that's what I'm saying. When we did go route 1, Nick, we overhit the ball. If you go back and watch that first half, Benrahma 4 or 5 times plays the ball long and completely overhits it, and Antonio, and there's nothing there for Antonio to run onto.
I'm talking about route 1, Wimbledon route 1. I'm not talking about.
But we tried that from the start, didn't we? You saw that with the way we kicked off when Benrahma took the kick off and Souček was just legged it straight up to the edge of their area. That was the mindset to put the 2 centre halves under pressure. But look, the young lad played really well at the back for them. The young lad come on looks a very exciting talent as well. And Henderson is a proper class footballer. He reads the game really, really well, and that's why he's the type of player that you probably will see step back into that centre half position, like Mascherano did, and like Declan Rice will do in years to come.
Yeah, and one other thing that Liverpool done well as well is that every time Bowen got the ball and Benrahma got the ball out on the wings, they doubled up on them. They forced them. They forced them into the corner. They didn't let them play. But
they press everybody. But that's what they do. That's how they win games.
And that's why they won the league. That's why they're champions of England, because they do things like that. And it's just one of them guys. Dawson or Bonner. I thought they done all right. It's Sufal done all right. Rice and Souček, they couldn't really get into the game, and when they did, they didn't really do much. I mean, Declan Rice was over it in balls today. He was knocking them out of play. But look, I'll take Declan Rice having one bad game, because he's been so good for us lately. They said it on commentary. He's played 58 Premier League games in a row for us and played every single minute.
Exactly.
It shows how much football he's played for West Ham. And it's just it's just, look, it is what it is at the end of the day.
The other downside as well, I thought there was a lot of space to be exploited on our left-hand side going forward. And I don't think we went down the right far too often, where I feel Liverpool are stronger defensively on the right than they are on the left. Not defender-wise, I'm on about like defensively as a unit. I think we would have got more joy if we'd gone down the left and maybe not having Fornals out there, maybe pushing Ben Rama out onto left and putting Fornals in behind Antonio. May have been a bit better, but
I mean, 4-0 for me today. He couldn't get into the game. It was hard for him to, because
I don't think no one would have been able to get into that game.
No, it just shows the levels, doesn't it? I mean, 4-0 has been brilliant for us lately, but it just shows the levels. I mean, we brought on Noble and Fredericks, but I think when he done that, I mean, people were saying, oh, he could have brought on Lanzini and the striker Odibeko, but do you know what? I think us fans knew it. The players sort of knew it. The game was dead and buried. I think if we'd have gone on and lost that 4 or 5-0, it could have dent our confidence going into the next few games. But he brought Noble and Fredericks on just to keep the score down. We ended up scoring. We went 3-0 down. Another World Cup. I thought it was a great goal. Little 1-2s, great finish. We've obviously got a goal back. Dawson, another goal for him.
I think there's 7 for Dawson. There's 7 games, 4 clean sheets, 3 goals.
Yeah, exactly. And look, that's
some stat in it. Mate, I think we're all at the understanding we didn't have the best night tonight. We got outclassed by a very, very good opposition. As I said, the young lad who come on for them, was it Jones who come on?
Curtis Jones, yeah.
He set up the first one and played a part in the second one, and that's the difference. When you've got talented players who of that quality, it happens. It's just one of them games. We move on. We look at Villa. Tough game again against Villa. We need to lift ourselves up from this. But it's just worrying what Moyes has come out with and said in his press conference.
I see a few people on Twitter as well saying about, because I tweeted saying about bouncing back and that, and they're all like, "Well, we're going to lose to Villa on Wednesday night." And I think myself, would they have said that if we'd have beat Liverpool today?
They're the same people that were telling everyone we was going to beat Liverpool.
And the thing is, as well, is like people getting on David Moyes' back as well straight away. Like, oh, Moyes got it wrong. You need to look at the bigger picture. And I said, I am looking at the bigger picture. He's changed what we're doing at the club. Look, we've still got 24 hours or just over 24 hours to try to get a striker in. We desperately need a striker in.
We ain't getting one.
Well, look, let's just see what happens. I know Moyes has come out tonight and said, all right, well, if we don't get one, we don't get one. If we do, we do. But we've brought Lingard in who can play up front as well. It might not be the option that everyone wants.
I think this is pathetic. I really do.
This is what I'm saying. Let's have this conversation after the transfer window shut, because I don't want to sit here and slag the club off and then we go out tomorrow and bring someone in, because it can happen. It shuts at 11 o'clock tomorrow night, so we've got plenty of time. Even if it's someone in on loan, it's another body in the door. I don't think Diop's going to be going to Liverpool now, because they're obviously bringing in that defender from Preston, the youngster. So it looks like we're going to keep old Diop, but. I'm not going to say anything. I don't know. I don't know who. There's a few options out there. But
they've run out of time, and there's no. They've run out of time.
How many times have we seen a signing coming on deadline day?
It's the thing is, right. No one's coming. He basically confirmed it tonight.
It's not only us. You look at the transfers throughout the whole window. Clubs ain't doing business. Exactly. They're not doing a lot of business. It's frustrating.
It's
frustrating, but I still think that we will maybe get someone in tomorrow. It might not be the player that we all want, but
he shouldn't have let Haller go then.
Well, then again, you didn't want Haller here, so
no, I can't stand the geezer. But if you've got no one to buy, I can't. I still can't fathom. Right, I still can't fathom why we've done all of that business in the summer. Then we took Ben Rama on loan. Then we sold Haller. Then we signed Ben Rama permanently, and they're trying to say we're skinned. I don't see how that's possible. It's not possible.
It's not being about the fact that we're skinned. Look, I did sticking up for them too in any way, but it's whether the people. This is the thing. We can be linked with so many players.
Right? Scott. Don't worry about linking and all of that sort of thing. How can you be the only club in the Premier League without a recognised? We haven't got a recognised striker, and we've sold one.
But I'm not saying that. But you can't.
We did have one, and everyone wanted to hand him out of the club.
Exactly. This
because we wanted someone else. But
that's it. But if there's no one available, how can you bring someone in?
But people are available.
Who's available? Josh King. That's it. He's the only one.
Go and get him then.
Look, let's just see what happens tomorrow. Let's just see what happens tomorrow, because if we don't bring one in, then we can all sit here and we'll have our say. But let's say it's 11 o'clock tomorrow night. It shuts. Even if we,
I'll be back. Okay. I'll be back here tomorrow at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm pretty confident I'll be sitting here going, "That's a missed opportunity." It's just stupid. It's just stupid.
I agree with what you're saying. It is silly going into now without a recognised striker with experience. We've got the two youngsters that the one that come on against in the cup game and scored. Obviously, Odebeck, who's not been given a proper chance yet. But it looks like if we don't get anyone in, we're going to be relying on Antonio and Yarmolenko as the two strikers.
I just, to be honest with you, look, it's a very positive place at the minute, and I understand that when it's a positive West Ham and all of that sort of thing, I understand that you don't want to start to go back to the negative, but you've got to say that. Fucking what can I say apart from the fact that Moyes has done everything with the tools he has to do everything he can to to put a successful season on the plate for him, right? Mm-hmm. He's done everything. He's done everything that's asked for him and more. In fact, I think we're punching a little bit with the squad we've got. All them players that have gone and they couldn't and they've sold a centre forward, which would have probably been Moyes' choice, which is fine. We've punched above our weight, but he should have been going into them and saying, I'm not saying he didn't, but Moyes, Sullivan and Gold should have been looking at this, thinking this is an opportunity. Let's go and get someone. Let's go and splash that bit of money to get him someone that he wants. Someone that's going to score the goals. Because I've seen so many people slagging Antonio off. No matter what you think of Antonio and missing his chances, he's not a centre forward. You can't put all the blame on him. But what I'm saying is, Scott, we ain't had 6 months, have we? We ain't had 1 month. We've had 6 months.
Yeah,
we obviously knew Haller was leaving, and we've had 6 months to sort this out. But we sit here saying the same thing over and over and over again. Why? Like, to be fair, yeah, Lingard can play up front, but my dick also fits in a fucking blue table. But I don't want to shag it. Do you know what I mean? Just because it fits, it doesn't mean it should go in there.
No, look, you know what I mean? You are, you're right in what you're saying. We're not. I'm not saying that this should have been addressed a long time ago, especially if they knew that he was going. But Moyes has done well with what he's got, and you've just got to trust in Moyes that if we don't get anyone in, he will make it work, and Antonio, look, we can't criticise Antonio for his finishing too much because he's not an out-and-out striker. The guy's a winger, and unless you're a world-class striker, you don't often score, you don't often get one chance and one goal. Do you know what I mean? That's all Antonio had tonight, one chance, and he was unlucky. A world-class striker, someone like Salah, someone probably, the likes of, I don't know, but they're the ones that put that one chance away, and that's the problem. When you're sitting there and you're up against sides like Liverpool, where you're only going to get a sniff now and again, you need a striker to take his chance. And Antonio, unfortunately, didn't. But you can't put too much go too much against him because he's not a natural striker. You know, Allaire misses that chance. If Allaire gets that chance and misses it, you can have a go at him because that's his natural game. But you know, he's no longer here. We've moved on past that, and we've got to work with what we've got. And this is the thing. Yes, we need reinforcements. We know that. This is the perfect time for the ball to show that they are behind the manager and do it. But if not, we've got to trust Moyes to work it out and work around it.
This is what I'm saying as well. It's like we had an out-and-out striker. All right, he wasn't great, but people wanted him out of the club. You know, people slagged him off week in, week out. You know, wanted him out of the club. He's gone. You know, as I said, the deadline shuts at 11 o'clock tomorrow. I still think we're going to get someone in. I don't know who. It'd probably be Josh King. You know, I wouldn't. But look, even if we get someone in on loan, you know, people will still moan about that. People have been moaning for months that our squad's too thin. We bring in Jesse Lingard, they're moaning. He's not. There's fans on social media moaning. Oh, he's not good enough. He's not good enough for us. Listen,
I was sitting there saying that Josh King's not the answer. But, you know, if we've not got anyone else to back up Antonio apart from the youngsters, you know, then he's the temporary solution. But, you know,
you can only have a 25-man squad.
Yeah, but the only downside is if we do get King in, him and Lingard are both cup tied for the FA Cup. So if we do have a push and do overcome United in the Cup, and God forbid Antonio, you know, he doesn't, but if he picks up another injury, we're going to go into the next FA Cup game, if we make it past United, without a recognised first-team striker completely. You know, we'll have to be Yarmolenko or one of the young lads to come in. That's another worry. You know, because you've got to be looking at it. Beat United, you know, what's that, quarterfinals after United?
Yeah.
So, you know, that's something else that's a little bit worried because Lingard's cup tied. Instead, you bring someone like King in, he's also cup tied. So that, again, is something we've got to look to address with a makeshift striker if we lose Antonio.
Yeah, look, we shouldn't be in this position. You know, we shouldn't be in this position of like saying we need a recognised striker in the club day before deadline day. But look, let's just see what happens. You know, it'll be an interesting 24 hours. You know, because Sky Sports News.
It just bemuses me, right? Because I remember the day they come in, yeah, and they were saying things like, "Yeah, we've got loads of midfielders, but we're short up front." I mean, fuck me. I think I would even take the squad that we had, the forwards we had then. I wouldn't take the squad, of course, but I'd even take the forwards we had then. They were saying we're thin up front. Fuck me, you can't be any thinner. There's no thinner than none, is there? Do you know what I mean? Like, how the fuck have we got ourselves into this position from a couple of seasons ago when we had about 6 to 0? And the only thing that it is, right, is its asset stripping. It's simple. They've saved over £40 million in wages, and you know, yeah, we've got a good midfield, brilliant. We've got, you know, a defence that's good enough. I wouldn't say it was brilliant, but it's good enough. They've bought in Souček and Soufal, brilliant. But how can you leave yourself with no centre forwards, and then sell the only one that you got? Yeah, he was useless. I'll be honest with you. I'm happy that he's gone. Then he's here, but then not replace it. I just find it baffling.
The funny thing is, we go through stages, don't we? When you look back over their tenure, we go through stages. We went through a stage where we had no fit centre halves. You know, I messaged in the group earlier, didn't I, saying where Klopp was moaning about the injuries they got centre halves, and I remember us having to play Joey O'Brien as a centre back. Then we went for a stage we didn't have no centre midfielders. Then we didn't have no left wingers, and you know, and then we end up overloaded in a position, and now it's the time of the striker. You know, this is the least amount of strikers we've had at the club for God knows when, and some of the strikers that we had at the club when we were overloaded with them were absolutely useless.
God, I think I'll even take Uncle Emenike or fucking or what's his name, right? The other guy, the one that was up front, scored against Wolves. Yelovich.
Oh, Yelovich, yeah.
I take either of them at their age now. I don't know how old they are, but I fucking take them back. Come back.
Yeah. No, look, as I said, it's disappointing that we're in this position, but we're not surprised by it. But look, as I said, let's just wait and see what happens. You know, a lot can happen in 24 hours on deadline day. We know that. We know Sky Sports News are going to have their wank fest, and they're going to have their phones going all the time and agents ringing them. And I'm sure I know what Moyes has said tonight is obviously a bit disappointing, but sometimes managers have to say things, just to take that distraction away. So look, I still think we're going to get someone in. I really do. I really do.
I don't think we will. And that's my opinion. And I just find it disappointing when you. I went for a drive earlier on today, and I went through Plaistow, and I went to the old bowling, and I drove around just to have a look what it was like now. It's obviously all flats, most of it's built now. Drove around the roads there, and then it starts to sort of dawn on you a little bit when you look at when we was going from there and what they promised us, and they don't want to invest to go forward. It's not even their money, to be fair. It's club money, and they don't want to invest it. And I can't say, I know there's a global pandemic, but everyone else seems to be able to get what they need. Aston Villa certainly do. They
have invested money in the last few years. It just wasn't spent right. Under Pellegrini, we look how much money we spent and wasted. None of them signings worked out.
Yeah, but
all of them signings that Pellegrini made. Where are they now?
I agree. It was a lot of it was wasted. A lot of it was wasted and invested in the wrong part. But a lot of that was also offset against sales. Like people talk about the 100 million when it was more or less like maybe 30, 40 million. When you look about who we got rid of at the time as well, like that, it's not as cut and dry as they've invested 100 million, blah, 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 blah. There was also sales within that time as well, you know what I mean? And when you average it over the time when we've been there, it's something like 20 million a season, which is not good enough and not what they promised us to go forward. And we're going over old ground, and I don't want to spend too much, going over old ground. But when you see a position we're in now, what the manager has done, imagine what you can do with a bit of backing. Imagine if they got the players. And it's a rebuild. I understand it's a rebuild. And Moyes is right. If he don't want players around the club, he just seems to be able to get rid of the players, just, not worry about it. And he goes like, I don't want Anderson. He's not my player. He had him there last season, didn't use him, didn't use Haller, was forced to use Haller this season. And in the end, he just went, no, I don't want him. He doesn't fit. Get rid of him. He's no good here. He's just wasting his career here. Which I agree with. I do agree with. I didn't like Anderson. I thought he was lazy, it definitely doesn't fit into the team's ethos right now. I didn't like Haller because I thought he was the same. I thought he was very lazy, very selfish player who wanted everything, stick me up front if you want. If everyone's going to put things on the plate to me, I'll score goals.
Oh, trust me, Nick, you'll be just as lazy up front, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just thought he was a lazy player. We need, the likes of Antonio. We need someone in a similar sort of build because that's the way Moisey wants to play. But
I'm sorry. I'm seeing comments and I see it on Twitter as well. There's a lot of people like sort of slating Antonio and saying he's not a centre forward. But when he was banging goals in, all loved him, you know what I mean? It's just he has one bad game, one poor performance from Antonio, and people are starting to say, "No, he's a winger. He's a winger. He's a winger. He's not a striker."
It's a poor performance. You can't hold him to a striker standards. You can't.
But it's not even that. We didn't give him no supply. This look, it goes back to the same as with Haller up against Liverpool the last time we played him. When I was sitting on here defending him, and people were saying, "Oh, I said he weren't aggressive enough against their centre half." One time Antonio really got given a ball in a good opportunity, 2 times actually, and he created something out of it. The rest of the time, he was feeding off of scraps. The balls to him was shocking. This is what I said. How many times did Ben Rama overplay the ball when we were looking for him? You can't sit there and criticise Antonio from his performance. He had one chance. He put it wide. And as I said before earlier on, he's not an out-and-out striker. So he's not going to... He takes 2 or 3 chances to get his goal. He's not going to instantly... You're not going to... And against Liverpool, the way we play tonight, it's going to be... You're going to get that one chance, and that's it. And this is the problem. There was no build-up play to get him involved in the game. He had to try and create things himself again. And this is the difference with Antonio over the likes of Haller. Antonio will create an opportunity for himself or will bring someone else into the game. And that's it. You can't criticise Antonio for tonight. Really can't.
No, I mean, look at it. All right, he against Crystal Palace, he had 4 chances. He hit the post twice, 3 times. Was it 3 times or twice or 3 times? But he could have ended up walking off that pitch getting a hat trick. it's one of them, innit? It's like we know he's not. We didn't buy him as a striker, but he's turned himself into a striker.
Yeah. Listen, if you give Haller the chances that Antonio had, and Haller missed them chances against Palace, for argument's sake, you can criticise Haller because as a striker, and that's your dominant role, that's the role that you've played all through your career, you should be burying at least one, maybe two of them chances. Antonio, you can give a little bit of leeway with because it's not his natural game. But, other people say, well, other wingers score more goals than Antonio, but you've got to look at what Antonio brings to the team as a whole before you can criticise his performance. You have to give him the ball for him to be able to do something with it. And the balls weren't given to him for him to do anything, apart from what he did do tonight.
Yes.
Someone's just said in the comments there, so Antonio's completely exempt from any criticism. I never said that. We've criticised Antonio. I'm just saying that people are quick to jump on him saying he's not a striker, he's not a striker, he's a winger, he's not a striker. But then when he was scoring goals for fun, beginning of the season and the end of last season, that's what I'm saying. Every player can be criticised. I'll sit here and criticise any player when they have a bad game. Antonio had a bad game today. We've criticised him.
But see, I don't. As I said, I don't think he had that bad a game. I think the service to him was piss poor, and that's what it was. You can't sit there and single out Antonio and say Antonio had a poor game. Too many other people around him had a poor game, and that's the thing. You can't just sit there and say he had one out and out opportunity and he didn't score it. He scores that goal, everyone's sitting there saying he's
two average games in the fucking row. What? He's scored 15 goals in the last year. What do you want? He's only won
another. What is it? Another 5-6 goals. He's our top goal scorer in the Premier League of all time. So, look, Antonio
I ain't got time for talk
Antonio
about
works.
things like
Antonio works hard for the team. He has done since lockdown. If it wasn't for him and his goals last season and a couple of good performances from Bowen and Suja, we would have been relegated last season. So, look. This is what I'm saying. If we was to go out and sign someone, a striker, and Antonio gets put out on the wing, Antonio might not want to play out on the wing. He might turn around and say, "No, man, I'm a striker now. I want to score goals." Don't get me wrong, Antonio will play wherever he's told. He just loves playing football and he'd do it for the team. But
I'll tell you why I won't criticise him, because I've seen an interview with him today, and he said, "I don't give a shit where I play. I play right back. I play left back, I've played left wing back, I've played right wing back, I've played on the wing, I've played up front." He said, "All I want to do is play, keep my shirt, and I didn't like playing up front when I first got put there, but I've learned to adapt because people go through the back of you, blah, 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 blah. All I want to do is keep my shirt." How can you slag a player like that off?
Well, another comment's just come in now. No one is slagging him off. We all love him. We're just disappointed. Go on Twitter. I've seen people slagging him off. I'm not making it up. You know what I mean? I don't just sit here and make that up. I've seen it.
No one's saying that, right? No one's saying you're making it up. It's just saying. I think it's more because people were saying what people were saying from the comments that are popping up is that there's no one really in the chat, our chat, that's really sitting.
I didn't say. I said on Twitter.
No.
I see a couple. I see a couple. Don't worry.
Oh yeah. I've seen comments come up about Antonio.
Don't worry about it. I'm still positive.
I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying, it is what it is. It's quick to. People are too quick to turn. I see people turning on Moisey after the game saying he got the team selection wrong. He picked our best starting lineup. If we'd have gone out there and beat Liverpool 2-0 today with that team, everyone would have been buzzing. If he, as I said at the beginning, if he'd have dropped a couple of players and maybe started Noble in midfield, it'd have been criticised. So you can't win, can you? It's always, that's the thing with football. It's decision.
As I said, I thought he may have gone for the 5 at the back. I thought he may have put Johnson in and gone for the 5 at the back today. But, he didn't. He stuck, as I said at the start, he stuck with how we've been playing because we've been playing well of late. And,
people telling me to calm down as well. It's like, what am I do? Not meant to show passion. So I just sit here and laugh and joke. What? This is what I'm saying. I'll calm down. I'm calm now. It's fucking, I get it the other day with a training ground comment. I have my opinion on it, But then people are telling me I'm wrong, but their opinion's right. What I was trying to say is under this ownership, they can't afford to do both. They can't afford to invest in the squad and off the pitch. If new owners come in, of course I want to see it all upgraded. But at the moment, I'd rather them spend money on the training ground. That's all I'm saying. But then I get people commenting on the video calling me a fucking idiot.
Well, no one's opinion's wrong. No one's opinion.
I my time to do this, and I'll get called a fucking idiot.
Yeah, but you're going to get people doing that. You know that all too well. That's what some people do. But at the end of the day, no one's got. You think your opinion's right. I think my opinion's right. Nicky thinks his opinion's right. People.
No opinion's right or wrong. No opinion's right or wrong. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's what gets me with people is when people sit there and say, "Oh, you're an idiot for that opinion." Well, no, you're not, because that's your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion.
I could have turned around and said, I could have turned around and said to them, "Well, I think you're an idiot because you don't agree with me." But I don't. I just turn around and reply to them saying, "All right, that's your opinion, mate."
That's what opinions are. If my opinion is different to your opinion, yeah, I think your opinion's wrong, but not going to have an argument with you because you've got your opinion. That's your opinion, and you're allowed it, and I'm allowed my opinion.
People think I get wound up, and I'm angry. I'm not getting wound. Believe me, I'm not. It takes a lot to wind me up. Believe me. But just because I'm not sitting there laughing and joking all the time, people think that it's getting to me. I respect people's opinions. I really do. Like, people should respect my opinions because, as you said, everyone's got them. We're allowed to have opinions. If I don't think that a training ground at the moment is a high priority, then that's my opinion. I didn't sit there and slag Nicky and Dan off for not agreeing with me. I turned around and said, I agreed with them.
That's it. Look, I've seen it. I know we don't normally touch. I've seen another comment about criticising Antonio. Look, not saying that it's wrong to criticise Antonio. What I'm trying to say is that it's hard to criticise someone when you're not giving them the service. Antonio didn't have that bad a game. There was other players out there who were worse than Antonio, but you can't look at your striker as the main problem when the team don't play well. A striker is only as good as the players that give him the ball. We haven't got that world-class player like Salah who can turn the game on his head, who can make something out. And I think that's the problem that we've got. And when we get our chances, we need to take them. And that's what we didn't do.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Well, there's only 8 minutes left of the Tottenham game and they're still losing. So fucking that'll cheer me up, I tell you. The thing is, we're still in 5th place. People are forgetting Leicester lost today at home to Leeds 3-1. It happens in football.
I watched some of that. It was quite a good game, that one. And that's the thing. Overall, over the past 2 weekends, look, the result ain't gone out. Our result hasn't gone our way today, but we're still up there. We're still pushing around the top half of the table where we all want to be. Be realistic. We all know that we ain't getting in that top 4. Realistically, you knew it. As we were sitting laughing and joking, like in the build up to this game, we knew that we are West Ham. We always find some sort of way and mess things up, but we're still in there pushing for that top 8, and that's where we need to be. Look at where we were last season. Look at where we are now. We bounced back against Villa on Tuesday or Wednesday. Get a win against Fulham. Things are rosy again, and then we go into the cup game against United. Look, it's one game against the champions. We've been beat. As I said at the start of the show, we've not lost to anybody barring Newcastle outside of the so-called top 6 clubs in this country. I'll take that all day. If we end the season like that and only being defeated by teams around that big 6, I'll be happy. It means we're the 7th best team in the country.
I want you to show me a football fan that tells me that they expect their team to win every game and they expect their team to perform or have seen their team perform every game. We had a bad game. So fucking what? Get over it. We've had more good games than bad games. Last season, it was the opposite. If you're going
to have a bad game, have it against teams like
Liverpool. Champions. Yeah.
Exactly. Look, right, you've hit the nail on the head there, mate. Listen, as we see, you'd rather
right?
You'd rather have a bad game tonight and get beat by the champions than have a bad game and get beat by no disrespect, someone like Fulham.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a difficult game against Aston Villa on Wednesday night, and then another difficult game against Fulham at Craven Cottage next Saturday. But they're 2 games that we can win, and it's how we bounce back now. We dust ourselves down, they get that back to the training ground. Do you know what? I see a story yesterday that I think it was Creswell or one of the other players come out and said that what?
Brighton should have scored.
Quite as you said, one cleared off the line.
Oh yeah. But, no, but the players were saying that even on their days off, they come in and train.
Yeah, I'll see that. Yeah,
all the players come in and train on their days off. That shows that the spirit in the squad, and
to go from where we were last season to where we were this season without that many changes. In fact, all he's really done is got rid of people.
And let's be honest, Nick, we remember the days under Bilic when players didn't even want to turn up for training.
One of them players we heard was one of the ones that didn't want to turn up for training. Is now one of the players that's staying later and working on something in his game. So, you know, it goes to show. And apparently, this all got started off by Souček and Kufal. From when they joined the club, they were coming in training on their days off.
I don't reckon they was. I reckon they was going. I reckon Souček was going in the kitchen and making potato salad with a big stir in the big pot in the kitchen. No, but that's what I love. That's what I love. You know, players that want to show commitment and they want to improve themselves and get their fitness up. Look, I know we've gone on for 50 minutes now, and we said the same at the start, and we're saying it now. It's a bad day at the office. It is where it is. We're still 5th currently as it stands. You know, even if Tottenham draw this game, we'll still stay 5th because that'll only put them on 34 points. So,
best team in London at the moment.
Yeah. We ain't said that for a very long time.
That's it. Look, that is exactly how we've got to look at it. You know, it is. We lost to the champions. We're still the best team in London at the moment. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. Any of them teams below us would love to swap positions with us at the minute. Bounce back against Villa. Villa's going to be a tough game.
We lost
perfect opportunity to bounce.
We've lost 6 games in the league this season, and last season we lost half our games. You know, so there's improvements all around this season. You know, don't get me wrong, we can go and lose the next how many games we've got left, 18 games or whatever it is. We can go and lose all them, and we could be sitting here thinking, what a fucking shit second half of the season that was. But I don't think we will. I think we'll bounce back. A point at Villa ain't the worst, you know, but we need 3 points. We need a win out the next 2.
I'll be honest. If we get 4 points from these next 2, I think that's a good return because Villa are a good side. Villa are playing really well. But look, Scotty Parker's doing a good job at Fulham, and Fulham are a side that I don't mind. But we need to be beating them. The season we're having, we need to make sure we turn them over.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
What?
Is that our run after? Sorry, we've got City, United, then Spurs after them games. Bloody hell.
That's all right.
But people said that back in November, Scott. People had 0 points. They are what they are. Everyone's got to do it. Everyone's got to play them.
Yeah, of course. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like, just try and as long as we win the games that we should be winning, and that's what we've done well this season. We've won the games that we're expected to win. Yeah, we've scraped some. Fucking hell, you know what I mean? But
what teams don't?
Yeah, exactly. Even Liverpool went for a bad patch, but it is what it is. Everyone's got to play them. Don't worry about it. Fucking just take it as it comes. We might be sitting here at the end of February without winning a game, but you know, we're all right. We're safe. I honestly, with the ambition of the board, like what ambition they're showing, this is all right. This is all right for me. You know what I mean? Because until, as I said before, until they're gone, we're never going to push too far forward. We're never going to be pushing for what they promised us. So safe by January, end of January. I'm good with that. I'm good.
Yeah,
no problem.
No, exactly. And so another comment there is saying our goal. You know, the mentality of the 3-0 defeat. You know, is to get the 3-1, you know, it's a boost and a bit of confidence, isn't it? You know, we've got that goal again. We still know we're a threat from set pieces. So, you know, we've got to look at the positives from tonight in a way, and you know, look at the negatives. And I think someone said it in the comments really early doors, is that this will bring everyone around the club back down to earth a bit. You know, this result, and you learn. I've always said in football, you learn more from the games you lose than you do if you keep on winning.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last result, ain't you? So we know we need to improve, and I'm sure we will. You know, Villa are not going to knock it around like Liverpool do. You know, it's going to be two teams evenly matched. You know,
But what they will do, Ryan, they'll chuck themselves on the fucking floor every opportunity they get.
That's the truth.
Yeah, I know, but it's, you know, they've got, look, as any team in the Premier League, every team's got a player that can finish you off, or players that can finish you off. We've got good players, they've got decent players. It's gonna be a good game. It'll be very interesting on Wednesday night, Villa Park.
So look, we stopped Grealish, we should be fine.
I'll tell you what, them old lads over in North London ain't doing too well since they won the league back in December, are they?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to TalkSport tomorrow and all the Tottenham fans coming on. San Marino out, but yeah, they've got a couple of minutes left now. Hopefully that Brighton can hold on, because Brighton winning don't affect us. Like, they're not nowhere near us, but beating Tottenham, and Tottenham they've got a game in hand. They've still got a game in hand over us, but
mate, game in hand, 8 points on the ball.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think their game in hand's like City or something, in it, or
Villa.
They've been running around City at the beginning of this game, going, oh, that's it. We're going to overtake them now. 5th tonight. No.
Yeah, even like yesterday, when you look at yesterday's result, Everton losing at home to Newcastle.
Yeah,
you know, results have still gone our way this weekend, and even though we've lost, so it's been a good. I know it ain't been a good weekend because we've lost, but if you look at it in the whole picture, it has been a decent weekend for us, especially if this result stays the same with Tottenham. So, fuck 'em.
I've come to a conclusion, by the way, about my mic. I don't think it's my mic. I think it's my internet.
Yeah, you're a bit crackly tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's my mic. I think it's my internet. But I don't know. Anyway.
Right.
Sorry?
And at least mine ain't played up tonight.
Yeah, well done, Scott.
It's the move
I've got his upgradings.
Oh, mate, I literally, I reset my internet. I turned everything off. I was so pissed off with it last week.
I bet you said, you said to your wife, don't go on your phone. Don't use the Wi-Fi. Everyone unconnect their stuff.
Mate, I shut everything off. Reset my Wi-Fi completely, and touch wood, not had a problem since.
Anyway, should we leave it there?
Yeah, Joe. Thank you very much for watching this edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint. You can go and follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat. Stuff you never use. You can go and support some page now, link in the description below. You can also buy some direct. The two boys up there are modelling. I've got me interview shirt today. I don't know why. Just fancied it. But yeah, them two boys are modelling.
He is a cowboy hat, Nick.
I know, yeah. Yeah, so you can go and check that out. Links are in the description down below. We will still be going for the Ogbonna giveaway. Well, the next time we score, we'll be giving away a t-shirt and a jumper to people that share our streams to get involved in that as well. Yeah. One thing left to say.
Come
on, you eyes.
Come on, your eyes.